Okay, so this one is the first magazine for June 7th, 2021. And I wish you could see all the paper clips I have stuck in this wonderful magazine. And if my phone was quicker at loading this, I probably would have used my phone. So I apologize for that. Okay, feel good file. 7 things that make us happy that we just have to share with you. They share a dessert martini, and I'm not going to read that because it has the word martini in it. Crafting up smiles is so sweet. Pillow gardening is my favorite way to unwind after a long week, says Lauren Blum, the first associate editor. To make my time outdoors even nicer, I made a cozy floral pillow kneeling bench. To do, brush your pink patio onto hydrangea blossoms and press onto a pillowcase. Then lift, then repeat, let dry, and reveal a floral pattern. It's very pretty. Fresh picked joy, dazzling on a dime. Showcasing beautiful garden blooms is the easiest way to add happiness. Welcoming flair to my front porch, shares Patty Bonco, first executive editor. Last weekend, I gathered up fragrant pink peonies and styled them into a sweet wreath. To make, I soaked a 15-inch floral foam wreath, water, cut 20 pink peony stems to 22 inches, to 2 inches, by the way. Then press the stems into foam until mostly covered. To finish, I filled the gaps with greenery, leaned the circlet on the bench, and it's lovely, quick made, and focal point. It says, happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. It has a sweet picture of a little young puppy and a little girl laying in the glass, and the quote is by Albert Schweitzer. A berry lover's best friend, and it's genius fine. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. I love all thing berry, laughs Melissa D'Agonisi, the first senior editor. So I flipped for this cute bowl. It acts as a colander and a container, so I can quickly wash and store my berries. Plus, it keeps the fruit fresh longer, and it's by Joey, Joie Berry, Berry, Pod, and it's $9 at Amazon.com. Here's a phone-friendly snap and pick and share with a friend. Every day is a fresh start. Every sunrise is a new chapter in your life waiting to be written. And the author is Josanne Dizon. Jewelry we love. Drop earrings. With warmer weather in full swing, we couldn't wait to don a breezy ponytail and an outdoor lunch, says Leanne Garfolio, first associate editor. But I felt like my look was missing something, so I slipped a pair of silver linear earrings like Jennifer Lopez. The metallic sheen made my skin look radiant, and the length of the dangle pulls the eye vertically to slim my features fast. Try the Firefly Imports double open rectangle drop earrings, $8 at Walmart. Okay, Smart Use Solutions. Quick tips that keep you looking and feeling great. Genius way to avoid a sunburned back. Applying sunscreen to your own back without a helping hand is so frustrating. You twist into a pretzel and miss a spot. To get the job done solo, try this clever hack. Cut a 3-foot length of plastic wrap, squirt lotion in the center, and then wipe the plastic sheet over your back as if you're drying with a towel. To evenly distribute the product. Take that, sunburn. Now, how do you prolong the life of razors? This is a quick poll. Lingering moisture can rust a razor blade fast, so we asked the first readers how they keep theirs dry after shaving to ensure longer lasting blades. 59% loved this idea. Blot baby oil onto the blades, says Kara Stein. It creates a water repelling barrier that thwarts corrosive moisture. 41% love this idea. Stored in a container filled with dry rice to absorb the water and keep humid bathroom air out, says Dana Munn. Here's a money-saving tip that banishes frizz for pennies. When humidity threatens a good hair day, whip up this easy leave-in. Add 1/4 cup of conditioner and 1/4 cup of water into a small spray bottle. Shake well and spritz onto damp hair from roots to end. Conditioner moisturizes the heat-parched hair and seals the cuticle so it won't absorb frizz-causing moisture nixing flyaways. Money saved, $20 on anti-fuzz serum. Now, reader tip. Clean your earbuds effortlessly. My tech-savvy nephew's advice for clearing his muffled headphones. Moisten a clean toothbrush with soapy water, hold the earbud above the toothbrush, and gently scrape out the gunk. Holding the buds upside down over the bristles ensures gravity dislodges the debris instead of pushing in further. Renee Chalk from Memphis. Boost happy in seconds. If the same old leaves you a bit blah, here's a fun way to perk up research. A fantasy getaway. Turns out simply looking up locations, accommodations, activities provides a light at the end of the tunnel effect that instantly creates a renewed sense of hopefulness. In one study, 97% of folks said they just wanted to plan a trip made them happier, and 71% reported more energy. Here is a show how. And you can take one of your ponytail holders, and it says an elastic hairband opens a can without breaking your nail. So you take the ponytail holder, put it over the tab of the can, and you can use that tab to pull the tab forward with that ponytail holder. That's pretty awesome and innovative. Way to go. Okay. Again, this is a part where I wish that I could have showed you on the screen of a phone, but this thing, it doesn't always work, so sorry about that. Beauty Now Style Summer Nails that make you happy. Just glancing at these vibrant, playful manicures will brighten your outlook and bring a smile to your face. Plus, they flatter your fingers to boot. Here's the easy how-tos for the nails that wow. To slim your hands with a gingham accent. Now, a check print pulls the focus forward or inward, visually narrowing your hands. Your first step. To do, apply 2 coats of white polish like Olive and June in HD, Target.com, onto the ring finger nail, and then 2 coats of the dark pink polish like Essie and Pin Me Pink, Ultra.com, onto the rest. Mix 1 drop of each polish to make a light pink U. Then use a toothpick to paint on the accent nail in the crisscross design. Once the nails are dry, this is the second step. Dip a new clean toothpick into the dark pink polish and use it to fill in the squares where the horizontal and vertical lines intersect. This enhances the total gingham pattern and let dry completely. Seal the designs with a clear top coat polish like Pacifica Plant Magic Super Gloss Top Coat, PacificaBeauty.com. To lengthen your nails with a watercolor design. Now, cascading summer U's stretch nails so they look longer. To do, here's your first step. Apply 2 coats of white polish, see above, on all nails. Let dry. Then dip a dotting tool like Orly Dotter Duo, OrlyBeauty.com, into a blue, teal, red, yellow, and pink polishes. Find them in a set like Clean Color Retro Neon Set at Amazon.com, and Clean Color is KLEANCOLOR, and dot it in vertical clusters on the colors down the length of each nail. The second step. While the dots are still wet, use the eyedropper to place 2 drops of nail polish remover onto the nail. This then polish slightly so it can be blended next to create the watercolor effect. Next, use a small clean paintbrush to gently sweep the polish toward the tip of the nail. Now, you repeat this on all of the nails. You let it dry till it's complete, and you finish with a clear top coat. How awesome. Okay. Now, Feel Great Foods. These are ways to shrink your waistline with tasty treats. Then there's 6 delicious belly flatteners. Berries activate a slimming gene. Now, snacking on 1 cup of berries, fresh or frozen, daily melt 4 pounds and 3 inches off your waistline in this month. That's the word from Cleveland Clinic researchers who say that berry compounds have carotenoids, which switch on the genes that help you quickly break down the store of abdominal fat for fuel. Cherries curb your cortisol release. Great news for cherry lovers. These sweet gems brim with pigments, anthocyanins, that calm your adrenal glands, cutting their production of fat-storing stress hormone, cortisol, by 33%. Now, you're going to nibble on 25 cherries daily, and the Canadian researchers say that you could double your belly fat loss this summer. Tip: choose ripe cherries with the richest, darkest color. They contain 4 times the anthocyanins to offer the speediest slimming. Now, radishes target your visceral fat. Eating the 3 crisp, spicy radishes could boost your fat burn by 25% for 2 hours, and munching on them daily will help you shred 4 pounds of visceral fat, the risky inflammation-producing adipose tissue that surrounds your abdominal organs. In 6 months, Stanford University researchers say that radish compounds, isothiocyanates, signal adipose tissue for the incinerate excess fat storage. I can't say half these big words. And I did a stupid thing. I had a bowl of lettuce tonight, like I always do, but I had it with my plastic fork, and I was so angry that I pressed it down into the lettuce. And I didn't even notice it, okay? It went down my windpipe, and a little small tip of that plastic fork went right down in my windpipe. So pray for me that I make it through the night. That's for sure. Endive studies blood sugar. Endive nutrients, flavonoids, show sugar absorption is in the intestines for up to 3 hours per serving, making the crispy green as effective as legumes at blocking the sugar spikes that fuel belly fat formation. Australian researchers say that enjoying 1 cup of endive daily could help you lose up to 5 pounds of belly fat this summer. Eggs halt the hungry. Now, if irresistible munchies have been sabotaging your healthy eating goals, serving up 2 eggs daily could banish that craving and fast-tracking your slimming, helping you effortlessly shed 17 pounds and 3 inches off your waistline this year. British researchers suggest thanks goes to the egg nutrients, vitamin B12 and chlorine that shut down your stomach's production of ghrelin, that troublesome hunger promotion hormone. Coconut speeds liver metabolism. Coconut oil contains a rare group of plant compounds, MCFAs, that stimulate the liver cells to burn fatty acids for energy. No wonder the Columbia University scientists say you could lose up to 67% more abdominal fat just by substituting 2 tablespoons of coconut oil for less healthy fats in your daily diet. Here's quick bits, the nutrition news that matters to you. And here we go. Eating the rainbow fosters a sunny outlook, so say the researchers, the report in the Journal of Affective Disorders. Their study of more than 17,000 participants found that those who ate the most red, green, and yellow veggies were rich in plant pigments called carotenoids, were up to 41% less likely to experience symptoms of depression. The reason? Carotenoids contain antioxidants that reduce proteins called cytokines, which can cause inflammation that can lead up to depression. Now, the study proven dose is about 2 cups of brightly colored fresh fruit and veggies daily. Diet tweak banishes fat and hunger. Following a low-fat, plant-based diet may be the key to shredding extra pounds. That's the word from the researchers in Nature Reports, whose small study found that those following the diet ate up to 700 fewer calories each day and lost more body fat in 2 weeks than subjects eating a high-fat, low-carb diet. What's more, folks on the low-fat diet reported the same satisfaction with the meals and hunger levels as those on the other diet. Now, researchers credit the positive effect to the diet's abundance of fiber, which slows the digestion and triggers a longer-lasting feeling of fullness. Coffee trick boost effect. Now, to stay perky with caffeinated beverages during the week, researchers from Germany suggest switching to decaf on the weekends. Participants in the study drank either caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee after getting 5 hours of sleep for the first 4 hours days. Those drinking caffeine were more alert and had quicker reaction than the times of those sipping decaf, but on day 5 there was no difference between the group. The reason? Our body quickly adapts to caffeine, so the stimulant had less effect and more consistently we drink it. The easy reset, switch to decaf on the weekends or whenever you don't need a caffeine boost. Delicious way to keep memory sharp for years. You already know that a Mediterranean diet is a boon for the heart health. But for a new study, an experimental journalogy reveals that eating more dark leafy greens and less red meat, 2 key promises up to the diet, led to the better performance on the memory problem solving test. Why? Nutrients in leafy greens reduce the plaque buildup, and that can result in the memory decline, while saturated fats in red meat increase the brain hampering inflammation. 42% of people who speed dinner prep by pretending to be on a cooking show. Source: Idahoan Foods. Grape protects against sunburn. Now, here's a little key fact. Every day on my last break, I have about a handful of red grapes that are seedless. They're my favorite, but let's read this. Small other note. my grandparents, when I was growing up, had a grapevine out here, grape harbor, I should say, out in the backyard. Best grapes you ever had, too. I miss it. Okay, snacking on grapes can increase your skin's natural protection against the sun, say University of Alabama at Birmingham researchers. In their study, subjects who ate 2 1/4 cups of any kind of grapes daily for 2 weeks could spend 75% more time in the sun before developing a sunburn. The researchers explain that grapes are rich in polyphenols, plant compounds known to bolster the skin's natural defenses against UV radiation. While they saw significant change in the natural skin protection, the researchers also noted that the UV exposure still causes DNA damage and advises using a topical sunscreen along with eating grapes for added protection. Moving forward. I'm trying to go as quickly as we can. This book is just so jam-packed. Feel Great Update. Your healthiest summer ever. Easy fixes to sidestep the warm weather health hassles. The tea tree oil fights odor. Now, fun in the sun fast tracks the growth of underarm bacteria, making odors a worry even when we use deodorant. For all-day peace of mind, dab a washed and dry underarm with a diluted tea tree oil at bedtime. Australian scientists say that the tea tree oil is rich in antimicrobial compounds, montrepinazes and ceraquiterpenes that kill up to 90% of troublesome underarm bacteria. To do, mix 30 drops of tea tree oil with 3 ounces of rubbing alcohol, shake well before using, and apply deodorant per usual. Tomatoes ward off sunburn. Now, we love spending time outside, but not how sun-kissed skin can stay pink, dry, itchy, and days afterwards. Thankfully, a study and scientific reports suggest that enjoying 1 cup of fresh tomatoes or 1/2 cup of cooked tomato products or sun-dried tomatoes daily can cut your risk of sun damage by as much as to 49%. Dermatologist Jean Krupman, MD, explains that lycopene, the pigment that gives tomatoes their red hue, quickly neutralizes the tissue-damaging free radicals produced when UV hits the skin. Floral scents melt your stress. Now, rising humidity, daily temperatures, fluxes, and a list to do can tax adrenal glands, increasing their production of stress hormone, cortisol, and leaving you edgy. To melt away stress in as little as 2 minutes, gently rub the inside of a floral petal and breathe in that lovely scent it releases. Japanese scientists say that when the flower petals are touched, they produce chemicals, violate organic compounds that lower cortisol, output the relaxed tense muscles, plus stimulate the production of brain hormone GABA that acts as a powerful natural tranquilizer. Lemongrass soaks for foil itchy feet. Soaking your feet twice weekly in lemongrass tea kills rash-causing skin fungi on contact to cut the risk of an athlete's foot flare-up by 83%, say British researchers. To do, simmer 2 lemongrass tea bags in 2 cups of water for 20 minutes. Remove your tea bags and mix liquid with 4 cups of very warm water and 1/2 cup of Epsom salts. Now you're going to soak your feet for 15 minutes and then dry them thoroughly. Grass tickles, so stop insomnia. Warm nights and early sunrises can make it hard to fall asleep and stay asleep, but spending 20 minutes daily walking outside in bare feet can cut the risk of insomnia by 67%, say University of California scientist cardiologist Stephen Sinatra, MD. It explains that when you have bare feet touch the ground, your body absorbs electrons, the tiny negatively charged particle, and they reset your biological clock so it releases more sleeping-induced melatonin at bedtime. Iced lattes halt repeat headaches. Rising temperature trigger headaches, as even mild dehydration tamps down pain-killing endorphins. The good news is research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition suggests milk-laced drinks restore fluid balance faster than water to ease headaches in just 10 minutes and cut the risk of future pain in half if you sip 12 ounces daily. Credit both regular and lactose-free milk carbs, amino acids, potassium, which speed water absorption through the digestive tract lining. Oh boy, so much good news. Okay, quick bits, the health news that matters to you. Surprise, reading outside improves your vision. Here's a happy reason to take your book outside. You'll see better. Researchers at the State University of New York College of Optometry measured responses of subject brain cells to both indoor and outdoor light and found that the bright outdoor light stimulates the brain visual region to improve the contrast sensitivity or the ability to differentiate shapes. The result? Less eye strain. Study author Jose Manuel Alonso, PhD, says sitting next to a window when reading inside delivers the similar benefit. Mother Nature's stress recess. Melting away worries is as easy as stepping into your backyard or heading to a local park, say Japanese researchers. They analyzed 60,000 subjects who took a nature walk or visited a green space as seldom as once a week, and they found out that these volunteers scored higher in their ability to cope with stress compared with those who hadn't spent time in nature. Previous research has shown that engaging with nature, even when just staring out a window at greenery or looking at photographs of trees, triggers the body's parasympathetic nervous system, which helps lower your heart rate and bring on the calm for as little as 5 minutes. 71% of the number of Americans who follow a daily wellness routine. Source: Emergency. MDs are okay. Consultant Dr. Google. Medical experts typically discourage self-diagnosis via online search due to the inaccurate and anxiety-producing results. But Harvard Medical School researchers say the opposite may be true. The described symptoms of common illnesses ranging from viruses to heart attacks to 5,000 participants and asked them to offer a diagnosis and course of action. Those who researched online offered a correct diagnosis 96% of the time. Plus, were more likely to suggest correct action steps. Study author David Levine, MD, says that finding suggestions there may be a benefit to consulting Dr. Google. Water time. Even minimal weight loss slashes diabetes risk in half. So say British researchers who report that losing just 5 pounds over 2 years lowered risk up to 47%. The scientists followed 1,000 subjects with blood sugar levels on the verge of type 2 diabetes as they made their modest sustainable lifestyle changes like gradually adding physical activity. Prior research has shown that the weight loss improves the body's response to insulin, which removes the excess sugar from the blood. The RX for spending less on medication and doctor visits. Next time your doctor suggests you take a new medicine, consider asking her to do a quick check swab. The study in British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology analyzed data on 56 common prescriptions with a history of gene interactions that lower effectiveness on the trigger side effects. Researchers concluded that more than 1 in 5 instances result from a genetic saliva test would have prompted a different medicine choice on the dose. The researchers say pinpointing the best med for you could save you time and money. Easy fix for bleeding gums. Now, in an analysis of 1,100 subjects, University of Washington researchers found that the folks who had experienced the bleeding gums, despite the regular brushing and flossing, were deficient in vitamin C. Now, boosting levels stop the bleeding within a matter of weeks. The reason? Vitamin C aids in the process of keeping the blood vessel walls healthy and strong. Prevented leakage. Lead study author Philippe Hugel notes that adding more sources of vitamin C, such as oranges, strawberries, kale, peppers, kiwis, raises the level sufficiently. Don't love those foods? Well, try supplementing with a 500 milligram once a day. Taking a walk at this time boosts your cancer protection. While exercise at any time of the day reduces cancer risk, a study of the International Journal of Cancer found that volunteers who were physically active between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. enhanced that benefit with a 25% lower risk of developing breast tumors. The researchers explained that the earlier exercise optimizes the body's circadian clock to boost nighttime production of melatonin, and that hormone that not only regulates sleep but has been shown to prevent cell damage and stop cellular process that aid in the tumor growth. This trick stops muscle loss. Scientists in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and scientists in the sports group of subjects with immobilized arms through a series of exercises with their, quote, good arm 3 times a week surprisingly volunteered that had 93% muscle loss in their immobilized arm compared to those who did not exercise. How? Exercising muscles on one side of the body causes a response on the other side that helps preserve strength. Big hat protects brain power. Now, grabbing that sun hat before heading out not only protects your skin, it helps you keep your thinking abilities sharp, say international researchers. In studies published in scientific reports, volunteers with prolonged heat exposure to lamp replicating sunlight performed poorly on math and hand-eye coordination task study author Lars Nimbo, PhD, says shade slows dehydration, prevents the sun's hot rays from reaching the outer layers of the brain, which can hinder the brain cell communication to cause foggy thinking. Oh, good gravy. I told you it's going to be a long night. A lot of good articles and found 3 cures for the pandemic stomach. Since COVID-19 pandemic began, millions of women have reported worsening of new digestive woes. To the rescue, natural remedies for the most common symptoms. The stomach ache, well, we all feel that every time we hear about COVID-19 pandemic. It's real. Digestive discomfort is on the rise. Pandemic drags on. The stress of the unknown has brought up GI symptoms in people who had never had GI issues before, asserts Jill Deutsch, MD, a gastroenterologist at the Yale Medicine in New Haven, Connecticut. Indeed, people suffering from the pandemic stomach are buying up Tums, Pepcid, and other over-the-counter acids like they are new toilet paper. Some grocery stores have even started limiting how much heartburn medication shoppers can buy. What's more, adds Dr. Deutsch, lifestyle changes such as the shift to remote work and more sedentary routine can cause an exacerbate stomach trouble. But you don't have to suffer. We asked the top doctors for inexpensive solutions for the most common symptoms. A quick take. What quick, healthy choices Americans make most? Beverages. 44% choosing water instead of a sugary drink. 37% getting 8 hours of sleep. 34% eating a salad. 32% squeezing in a 20 to 30 minute workout. 20% taking the stairs instead of the elevator. The source is Zero Fasting app. Now, if you can't go, about 25% of the people have developed quarantine constipation, according to the University of Mexico study. A key reason? Changes in the sleep schedule. One study found out that the adults who had too much or too little sleep were more likely to report being backed up than those who slept 8 hours a night. Now, if you're getting poor quality sleep, your brain may not cue your bowel to wake up and contract, explains the study. Kyle Stoller, MD, director of the GI Motley Laboratory at the Harvard Medical School, and EasyRx, load up on high-fiber prebiotic foods such as asparagus, apples, and onions. A 2020 study found that the prebiotics improve the constipation, and other research shows they reduce stress and improve sleep. Also smart, sip a mug of chicory root coffee each morning. In one study, a daily dose of prebiotic chicory root made stools 400% easier to pass. Now, if you have gas and bloat, more than half the women with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, it's a chronic disorder marked by pain, bloat, and more, say pandemic stress has made their condition worse. In addition, changes in sleep and eating habits can trigger the IBS, notes William Shea, the MD, a gastroenterologist at the University of Michigan. To lower your risk of developing a flaring IBS, try beginning a deep breathing practice using the medication app like Calm. Harvard studies show that IBS sufferers who regularly meditate report 53% less GI pain, and Dr. Deutsch, who also advises taking 90 milligrams of peppermint oil twice a day in a supplement formulated to treat IBS like IBGuard at drugstores. Her studies found this dose reduced IBS symptoms by 40% after 4 weeks. Now, if you have reflux, stress can slow down your digestion, which keeps food in your stomach longer and gives your stomach acid more time to cause heartburn, explains Dr. Che. But during the pandemic, people have also gained weight, and they're drinking more alcohol, which can worsen their heartburn as well. To help combat that burn, Dr. Joyce suggests trying dichlorhyrsenic licorice, which increases mucus production in the esophagus to protect the delicate tissues from the irritating effects of the stomach acid. Look for products that contain DEGLYCYRRH, I, Z like zebra, INATED licorice, like Gut Guard at pharmacies, and take 75 milligrams 20 minutes before your meal. And don't spill your water like Donna just did. Okay. I wouldn't say we're even halfway through yet. Quick bits. Insight, the psychological news that matters to you. Another reason to cut yourself some slack. You know, an afternoon nap takes off an edge and gives you energy to power through the rest of your day, but researchers in the journal General psychiatry say that it's even more beneficial. They surveyed more than 2,200 people aged 60 and over and found those who regularly napped scored significantly higher than the non-nappers in tests of working memory, attention span, and problem solving. The study authors speculate that naps may lower brain inflammation to promote mental illness or fitness. 24% people who say they sometimes carry a lucky charm. The source is YouGov. Secret to weathering tough times? Well, to get through a period of uncertainty and stress, think about your past successes. Researchers at the University of California in Berkeley analyzed participants' decision-making patterns in a game designed to simulate times of change and unpredictability. The discovery the most emotionally resilient folks kept their cool in the midst of chaos by drawing on the past successes and building on what they'd done right instead of fixating on the mistakes. The investigators say that focus contributes up to a sharpened sense of judgment, so we adapt to change and make wise decisions moving forward. Discovered powerful way to feel more connected. Next time you're browsing social media, take a minute to chat with a friend online or comment on one of their posts. Researchers in the Journal of Happiness had participants complete surveys about their social media use for 10 days and found that the active engagements like this helped users feel less lonely and envious than when they passively looked at others' feeds. The researchers say that social contact can improve the well-being to help counter negative feelings of comparison like sites like Facebook, Instagram tend to foster. Best way to bounce back from an embarrassment. When you can't stop thinking about a faux pas, try to be a fly on the wall as you replay the scene. Canadian researchers say the point of view we use recalling the past impacts how we process the information. And a third-person perspective activates brain regions that reduce the memory's emotional intensity. Prior research shows a third-person point of view creates the distance, helping us put the incident in perspective. Key to an even happier marriage. It's obvious those who were thoughtful, loving gestures between you and your husband, like an encouraging text on a tough day, make you feel closer, and now the study published in the Journal of Personality proves the kindness and the characteristic people most desire in a partner. More than 2,700 participants from around the world chose a set of attributes like humor, attractiveness, financial success, and creativity. And kindness emerged at the top of the trait people wanted in their significant other. The researchers believe this is because being kind and empathetic shows us a build to a strong foundation for a successful bond. Yeah, well, the only place they exist is in books. Sorry to break it to you. Patricia's Best Stress Secrets on Instant Inspiration from The Insight. 3-time Emmy Award-winning actress, author, wife, and mom, Patricia Heaton, 63, shares her tips for more joy, less stress, and a healthy mind and body. The author by Bonnie Siegler. Known for her bright smile, easy candor, and successful career spanning more than 30 years, it's easy to think that Patricia Heaton has it all. But the actress-comedian, beloved for her roles on Everybody Loves Raymond and Carol's second act, has also faced life challenges, including tragically losing her mom when she was 12. That heartache made me resilient, she shares, a trait that, along with her faith, has kept Patricia hopeful as she enters her second act of life as an empty nester now that her 4 sons have left home. In every new phase, you see more clearly what's most important, and for me right now, that's family, faith, creativity, and doing good in the world. When you prioritize those things, every day is an adventure. Here's Patricia's tips for staying healthy and worry-free in your second act. Melt a mini pot, low-carb treats. Now that's it. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Now that it's just me and my husband at home, we eat lots of chicken, salmon, greens, overnight oats, and lentil soups. Patricia says, on Sundays, if I want a treat, I'll have a Carb Smart fudge bar, and that's about 60 calories. I love fudgesicles since I was a little girl, and it's a guilt way to satisfy the sweet tooth. For a fuller, healthier hair secret, try biotin. I love taking biotin. It's made my hair so strong, Patricia shares. Studies show that taking 3 milligrams of biotin daily can thicken your hair by 24% in 1 month. One to try, Naomi Keratin with BioWin and Resveratrol from NaomiW.com. Anxiety RX, riding this way. A lot of my anxiety comes from the image that I don't have control over things, Patricia shares, so I find it's good to write down things that I'm worried about, and then the worst thing that could happen. Then I ask myself, what can I do about it, and write about those things down too. A friend once told me the best way to deal with an issue is, as it turns out, making those lists actually work for me. And I take pleasure in ticking off some things that I can actually do to overcome challenges. It gives me strength to look at everything else on that list and decide how to tackle it. Okay, a key to balance, a daily dose of laughter. It's absolutely true that my keys to balance are spirituality, family, and laughter. Patricia says with a smile. Those are the things that matter most. For Patricia, laughing every day is essential and turns out to be her favorite TV show to do it. I love watching the Great British Bake Off, the Office reruns. Jim Garrigan and Jerry Seinfeld on TV always makes me laugh too. The release is so relaxing and gives me peace. Fuel motivation, step-by-step progress. I have learned that a lot of worry can dissipate if you take a look at your problem and break it down into manageable bits, Patricia advises. I look for places where I can take basic steps to clear some of that stress. For me, an easy one is cleaning my dishes, my pantry, my closet. Instead of retail therapy, it's my Marie Kondo therapy. Just doing something physically and standing back to say, I've accomplished something, does so much good for the soul. In fact, studies show that just 10 minutes of mindful tidying can slash stress by 27%. Don't miss Patricia's inspiring new book. In her book, Your Second Act, Patricia explores the story of real women who have reinvented themselves and embraced their own second act in the realms of health, wealth, and love and beyond. Peppered throughout with a light-hearted anecdote from her own experience, Patricia shares how she's navigating her own second act as an empty nester after her 4 boys have left home. All growth comes from a level of pain, Patricia shares, but down in the depths of my soul, I know I must try to enjoy it all, even the painful parts. Sharing her journey through the past, losses, success, passions she rediscovered in the wake of her son's departure. Patricia hopes that she can inspire readers to find strength of mind and character and character. You have to dig deep to get out of the comfort zone to find true fulfillment, she says. Each new challenge I've faced, including this new phase of life, has been a chance to get out of my comfort zone and find a great adventure on the other side. They show a picture of the book. That's Patricia's book, Your Second Act, celebrates reinventing yourself. Are you too hard on yourself? Stress SOS. Probably so, and now we are halfway through the book. Thank you, Lord. Psychologists reveal how simply talking to ourselves more kindly can rewire our brains to transform self-doubt into self-confidence, stress into serenity, and perfectionism into peace. You're excited to help organize a community garden with your church group, but when a friend questions a few of your ideas, you immediately start beating yourself up. I'm so stupid, I shouldn't have spoken up, my ideas aren't good. If you're like most of us, you end up preferentially focusing on the blathering of your inner critic rather than reminding yourself of all the consistently that you get right. We have about 30,000 individual thoughts per day, which is 77% of which constant of negative self-talk, reveals Shad Helmster, Ph.D., author of the seminal book What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Our brain doesn't know the difference between what's true and false. It simply acts on the strongest neural programs. So if you tell yourself that you can't do something, hold on, I lost my place. That's what your brain believes. The great news is that you're just repeating a few key words is proven to boost bliss over a long term. Research shows that consistently telling ourselves that we can overcome the challenge is important because it takes 3 to 4 weeks for our brain to lay down new pathways, said Helmster. People who engage in the most positive self-talk, in fact, grow more neutral networks in the area of our brain in charge of solving problems. Keep reading for the positive words proven to dial up hope, increase joy, and instill genuine self-love so you can become your most enthusiastic cheerleader. Now, are you facing a challenge? Try Growth Talk. You love volunteering at the animal shelter, but when you're asked to lead a fundraiser, you tell yourself, I'm not up to this. The first step is to just start paying attention to what you're saying, urges Helmster. Once you're aware of it, you can begin to change negatives into positives. To flip a defeatist script, tap into your growth talk. Now, if you were simply to say the direct opposite of what you're repeating, turning the I can't into I can, your brain would be thinking you're lying because it's been trained to believe otherwise. That's why it's important to layer self-talk. Tell yourself, I'm good at taking on challenges. I ask for help when I need it. I learn from my mistakes, says Hellmeister. The deeper your talk goes, the more neutral pathways to access, so your brain starts to believe what you're saying. In fact, reminding yourself that you're constantly learning is the key to it. Triggers the growth mindset, the conviction that obstacles are not roadblocks but stepping stones on the way to success. Always self-shaming. Ditch the should. Now, after overeating to soothe your stress, you beat yourself up with, I'm so weak, I should eat healthier. We tend to believe that the inner criticism motivates us, says psychotherapist Karen Koenig, author of Words to Eat By, but it always backfires. Silence guilt by asking yourself what you desire. Shame-based words like must and should put the pressure on us, says Koenig. When we rebel against the stress, leading us to do the very thing we're trying not to, instead use words that speak to why you yearn to do something, like want and prefer. Tell yourself, I want to stay in touch with my body when I'm eating, or I choose to feel peace with food. When we overeat, it's because we don't feel entitled to desire other things. So ask yourself what you're craving beyond food, like relaxing or taking a walk. Willpower doesn't exist, so use word power, compassionate language that talks you into living the life you want. Feeling overlooked? Say a soul script. When a coworker talks over you, your self-esteem sinks and you're wondering if anyone sees what you have to offer. Alison Cook, PhD, author of Boundaries for Your Soul, explains, this self-talk only perpetuates feeling the invisibility, causing us to stop trying or being seen or heard. Now, boost your sense of self by connecting with the language by your soul. Just repeat, I'm exactly as I'm meant to be and no one can take my place, says Cook. That last part is perhaps the most important. It really resonates with women because we just know it's true. No one can take your place. After you found this kernel of truth, you can't deny, build on it. For example, you might say, it's hard for me to make my voice heard, but I'm going to commit to learning how to use it, regardless of how others respond. Whether you decide to speak up at least once during your next Zoom call or simply text a friend to talk about your day, resolving to use your voice will get others' attention and help you listen to yourself. Suffered a setback? Expand your chat. Reeling from an emotionally exhausting breakup with a friend, you feel a tug of war between your head and your heart. While you know it was the right decision, you still feel like you failed and repeatedly tell yourself that you could have done more to salvage your relationship. After a disappointment, remind yourself that there isn't just one path to happiness. When you find yourself saying, I feel hopeless or I'm a failure, broaden your perspective by pinpointing hope in small ways. Whether it's cuddling with your dog or gazing at the flowers in your garden, urges Homesteader, then tell yourself, I have the opportunity to live the life I want. Once you focus on your own experience, take your talk higher by envisioning others going through similar challenges and say to yourself, I can overcome this just as they have. Known as elevated self-talk, this upward spiral lets you see yourself as a part of the larger conversation and the connection with others, says Hellmeister. This brings your small world of self-talk into a bigger universe, helping you feel gratitude for what you have and sharpening your resolve to live your best life on your terms. We are going to take a break so I can use the restroom. I will be right back to finish filming the rest of this book.